Katrina came in on a Sunday morning, right around daylight. That Saturday, I actually had a class, and we were at the apprenticeship school, and our business manager would come and say, you know, the storm took a turn, it's coming this way. You know, they telling everybody to get out. It wasn't long after that the weather started. So you could feel the house bumbling and rumbling, and it was scary. You know, it ain't like when you was a kid and you was kind of excited about it. And now that you're an adult and you realize the consequences, it's a pretty scary thing.
We got in the car and we got across the river so we could get out of the water, and then we left and went to Houston. From Houston, my daughter sent tickets to us, and we flew to Florida. And I stayed in Florida until October.
We went through our money. I don't have a job, I don't have income. I did get my paycheck because the people we work for, they had to evacuate too. Their offices are closed, the offices were gone.
Pretty hard then when you first walked in the door to see, you know, what your lifetime work is gone, what happened to it, you know, it just poof, gone, just like that. My daughter said, Daddy said, if you're gonna pay that kind of money to repair it, you might as well build you a new one.
And I saw everything from people coming home with 6 foot of mud in their house to people coming home to a slab, you know. Some people had to take everything they own and put it out on the street. If everything I had disappeared, I'd forget about half of it. When you had to look at it and drag it out to the street, I pitied them more than I'd rather come home to just a slab.
We've had heavy rains here before, and it's never flooded before, and we never thought we'd even flood here.
I went to bed watching the news, and they were talking about the flood, the flood. Nothing was mentioned on the news about this place flooding.
It was raining. It rained for a 3 days straight.
Once the ditches filled up, the water had nowhere to go, and it just backflowed everywhere. And it was just a sound of debris. I never heard that sound before. It was just like I said, like a tidal wave coming right at you.
My French doors adjacent to my carport area burst open, and there was almost 3.5 foot of water came in. All of a sudden, the water was almost 3.5, 4 foot outside at the car. When I sat in the car to take off and go down the end of the street with my 2 dogs, we were sitting in a car full of water. It was terrible. It was not a good feeling. The water had a nasty smell.
You could not get in, you could not get out. You needed a boat or a high water vehicle to exit someplace safe.
I left my house that Saturday morning, and I wasn't able to get back to my house till Wednesday, the following Wednesday.
When we got into our residence, I had 4 foot of water. The water stayed in this house for 7 days. It was like a disaster zone come through here, like something you see in a movie. Ceilings were on the floor, sheetrock hanging, doors off the frames. It was a nightmare.
A lot of the stuff that was in my house was out of the house, from where my double doors in my big family room had just burst open. Everything that was handed down through my family, I lost everything.
It was just a difficult time, you know. You're trying to provide for your family, you're trying to give them shelter, and you can't.
At the time, I was getting kind of distressed because I lost my pickup truck in the flood, so I couldn't get to and from work. So now I'm out of work for, I think I was out of work for like 3 months.
We definitely can't help our own out. Nobody else is going to be able to do it. When Katrina hit, it was devastating to everybody. I mean, it was devastating to watch it on the news and everybody flooding into the Superdome. What happened in our general office with General President Grogan at the time, we come in the office, we talk about it, it's like, hey, we have to do something. How can we help these people out? So the General Executive Board voted on assessing every member of our international $100. That did not go over very well. It took us a while to collect the money. But as we were entering into the 2007 convention, one of the resolutions from the General Executive Board was, let's just have a ½ cent per hour go into a relief fund. From the initial $100 assessment, we were able to build up a pool of money in around $1.5 million, something in that neighborhood. Hopefully we never have floods, ice storms, fires, or anything from Mother Nature hit us, but the reality is it's going to happen, and we just wanted to set this fund up so we had some money so we could help people out that are in those situations just get over the hump.
I called the hall. They told me what they were going to try to do, that they didn't know what amount of money it would be or anything, but anything's better than nothing.
Evacuating is physically, mentally, and financially draining.
It didn't take a week. We had a check sent down to us. It was quick.
We got our check in the mail and cashed it, and that was the first money I put back in this house.
I mean, when you have nothing, it means everything. Nobody expects that to happen.
If it wasn't for the relief fund, I mean, I would have been in just major distress. It helped me out to the point where I could at least make my electric bill, or I could pay my house note, or whatever I needed to do with the money at the time, but it was very helpful.
I was out of work for 2 weeks, and the Disaster Relief Fund helped subsidize that. Once I got back to work, I was back on my feet fine.
Just because you haven't had any kind of disaster, don't think it's not possible.
We've had floods all over the country. Last fall we had the major fires up in the northern territories of Edmonton, Alberta. That was just totally devastating.
Even though, one time I got paid from the fund, I'm happy to keep on contributing to the fund because somebody else will need it again someday.
It's a great feeling that you're gonna have something. You have someone there that has your back to help you along.
We're a brotherhood. That's what we do. We help each other out. And when people are in need of money financially, physically, mentally, whatever, we try to help each other out.
If you come tell me, look, they just had a giant fire in California, all these brothers lost their home and everything. Who wouldn't pitch in? You're just pitching in ahead of time.
I just have to say I appreciate it very much. And just to keep it up, there's a lot of people out there that's going to need it.
What you started, I hope, continues and keeps on going.
They proved to me that they're trying to do and trying to help the membership.
If any way it's possible that it can continue, I would love to see it. And anything that I can do to help, I will.
It wasn't much when you put it in, but it was everything to us when we received it. And I can't imagine ever not putting money into that fund myself, knowing that, brothers and sisters around the country one day will need that money.